Hello to the world of KOSMEK. Thank you very much for today's participation in our webinar about our factory automation products and your possibility of machining with the robot with the help of these components. My name is Nikolai Prüller and I will guide you through today's webinar. In the next 20 minutes, you will hear and learn about the company KOSMEK. You will see how KOSMEK factory automation products can benefit your process steps and can take them from the machining center to the robot. And you will experience these benefits based on two of our application examples of the deburring cell and the welding cell, completely equipped with KOSMEK components. Some organizational points up first. You will find this presentation as a downloadable video at www.kosmek.eu, as well as on a YouTube account from KOSMEK Europe directly. You can ask us questions directly via the Q&A box or the messenger from Zoom, and depending on how much questions we get, we try to answer them at the end of the session. For any other belonging, please contact us directly at kosmek@kosmek.eu. KOSMEK is the world's leading expert in powered clamping. Due to the limitation from Japanese car manufacturers to 70 bars maximum pressure 40 years ago, KOSMEK developed one of the most innovative technologies for pneumatic and hydraulic work holding solutions like clamping, positioning, and supporting, and also for factory automation. Since then, KOSMEK has been a continuous market leader in Asia. 8 years ago, the increasing demand on KOSMEK patented low-pressure technology brought the company to Europe. And since then, KOSMEK is the only company in the world covering all areas of a workpiece production process. We offer solutions for the casting, injection molding, and for punches and presses. For example, quick mold change systems, the ejector rods for faster ejector rod pattern setup, the positioning of the mold of the die, and pre-rollers for easier loading and unloading of the die or the mold. In terms of work holding and machining, we have various different hydraulic and pneumatic clamps, work support, and positioning solutions. In terms of factory automation, we have like tool changes, pallet changes, and grippers. And KOSMEK is the only one who can equip the complete process steps from the casting to the finishing of the product. And furthermore, KOSMEK can bring machining on a machine tool together with machining process steps done by a robot. Why is this important? Looking at the serial production in the last decades, the lot sizes have been continuously increasing. Today, this is still true, but today we also live in a time of mass customization. This means high lot sizes in total, but consisting of many varieties with lower lot sizes. Since the number of pieces for the different variants of workpieces is going down, the production must be accordingly flexible and prepared for the changeover. In this case, it is easier to simply reprogram the robot instead of the entire machining center. With the robot, you're able to remove a wide variety of work steps from the machine and thus also be able to carry out small to large quantities with the precision and speed of a robot. This enables you to make better use of your machining center. Your employees can take care of the challenging activities in the company, and work such as deburring, assembly, and welding can be done directly by the robot. But how is KOSMEK able to fulfill the quality and is able to be safe against twisting, bending, and the movement of the robot? And additionally, the quality has to be ensured as well when using KOSMEK components on these robotic cells. So therefore, some of you might already know from the previous webinar, I want to introduce to you shortly once more the high power technology and the zero backlash technology from KOSMEK. With these technologies, you are able to take machining steps from the machining center to the robot itself. Now, let us have a look at these technologies. The first key technology to bring machining steps to the robot is our high power technology with the mechanical lock. And here you can see an animated cut view of a swing clamp. This mechanism works similar also in all of our other components for work holding and factory automation. And the basic mechanism, which works almost the same in all of our pneumatic components in both areas. And now the mechanism works as follows. At the current condition, you can see the clamp in the released condition. When we are supplying pressure to the clamp, the pressure expands in between the green standard and the brown high power piston. And let's have a look now. So we are supplying pressure to the piston. Now the green piston is moving down and starts the swing action of the clamp. Once we completed the swing action, the so-called vertical or high power action takes place. As we can see now, the brown high power piston is starting to move. The piston is going up, pressing the steel balls onto the rod and the piston itself. And once we are completely locked, as we can see here now, we are pushing the steel bars onto the rod, and here we are generating 3 times higher clamping forces and up to 7 times higher holding forces. And now the clamp is totally locked. And when using pneumatic clamps, here you get even holding forces at 0 bar when you remove the total pressure supply. When releasing, the brown piston is pushed down and the green piston moves again. So the mechanism is opened and the clamp is once more in a released condition. With the product range of KOSMEK pneumatic technology, you are able to equip complete fixtures, starting with the 0-point system to fix the plate on the machine table itself, with clamps like swing clamps, link clamps, and hole clamps, and many other for high power clamping also at holding forces at 0 bar. The work supports for avoiding vibration, distortion, and bending of the workpieces, as well as pneumatic couplers, valves like sequence valves and speed control valves, but also 2-jaw grippers, hole grippers, welding and washing clamps, and many more in a range of factory automation. Now coming to the second key technology, which is our zero backlash technology. So here you can see a cut view of the KOSMEK robotic hand changer, the SWR. We have the master side and the tool side. What makes the KOSMEK SWR so unique is that we have a fully integrated 0-point system which avoids any gap between master and tool side already in the unconnected state. The tapered sleeve is elastic in diameter and spring-loaded from the bottom. This means it is always totally pressed into the tool side, and not only the piston, but also on the guide pin beside. After connecting, you can see that there is no gap at all, neither on the locking mechanism nor on the guide pin. This means a very high rigidity against torsion or bending, lightweight because we do not need friction for positioning, and we have a small size, and therefore we are absolutely free of wear, and therefore we have a high durability. In terms of a general hand changer, you have a gap in between the master and tool side on the locking mechanism here and on the guide pin here. And once these general hand changers are connected, you still have some space in between the locking mechanism and on the guide pin. And therefore, you have a large backlash. Even when in connected state, you have a low rigidity because of the high tolerance inside. And you have to size up as the friction between the parts is the only fixation. And the tool changer therefore becomes heavier and has more wear and therefore also a low durability. And now let us have a quick look onto a detailed 3D animation of our KOSMEK SWR. So here you can see the connection of the master and tool side up first. And when we are supplying pressure to the hand changer, the tapered sleeve is getting pushed together since it is elastic in the diameter. And now we can see this. So here we can see we are supplying pressure. Here you can see the tapered surface, which is getting pushed onto the tool side. Additional to that, you can see here the steel bars, which are getting pushed onto these tapered surface, additional. And here we are generating our holding force. So when we are looking at this function here, we are releasing off the master and tool side. And now we can see our so-called detaching function, the lift up stroke. So with that function, we are able to work against the so-called slipstream effect if water is occurred on the hand changer. So now we're coming to the safety function when the pressure is falling. You're saved against it due to the mechanical lock inside if the pressure is completely lost. The steel bars are pushing onto the stable surface and we are locked even at 0 bar. So here you can see the seating detection of the KOSMEK SWR robotic hand changer. It works with differential air pressure. Here you can see the airflow function to keep it safe against chips and swarf on the surfaces of the robotic hand changer. And now you can see the mounting of our electric connectors, which you can see here, the mounting brackets, and afterwards you can see the electric connectors equipped to the robotic hand changer. And now when we are connected or when we are clamped, we are safely connected. Now let us start with the first application example. And here you can see a deburring process with a FANUC robot and the complete setup of the KOSMEK robotic hand changer, complete KOSMEK setup. So here you can see that in the first step, we will change the transportation hand to the deburring tool. All this with the help of the KOSMEK robotic hand changer, the SWR. And now we are starting with the deburring process of the robot. The SWR takes over any fluctuation of the deburring tool. Here you can see we have started at the stationary side and then we transported to the tombstone side with a different workpiece mounted onto it. So we have finished with the deburring. Now we are changing once more to the transportation hand, which is equipped with our WPT high power pull stud clamps. So here you can see we are picking up our transport hand and now we are transporting with the help of our high power pull stud clamp this stationary fixture to the, let's say, to the finishing station. So we are locking off the fixture, now transporting it down to the stock. And now we are coming back to the tombstone fixture where we have equipped another variance of a workpiece. And now we are clamping it, transferring it to the stationary plate. And afterwards, we are locating and clamping it with the help of our high power 0-point system, as we can see here. So here we are changing the pallet back to another variance of workpiece. So as you can see, we have different workpieces with different fixtures, but all on the same cell without any change of the fixture side or any change of the blocks itself. All this with the help of KOSMEK components like we will see on the next slide. So here, to sum up what we have seen. First, we have our robotic hand changer, the SWR. With that, you are able to take over all of the forces of the robot, like bending, twisting, and fluctuation in case of deburring, so that no malfunction is happening during the machining processes. Our high power pull stud clamp, and this pull stud clamp uses once more the high power technology, which makes it highly versatile in the usage, but additional very safe to use. Also, it enables the user to decrease the size of the transportation hands additional. Third product, which is our WVS, the high power pneumatic clamp. This component lets you clamp and locate a complete pallet of fixture with a repeatability of 3 micron. In this 0-point system, we also have the high power function with the mechanical lock and holding force at 0 bars. And additional, the blocks which are needed to clamp and locate can be interchanged between hydraulic and pneumatic types of the 0-point systems if needed. And fourth, the last part which you have seen are our high power pneumatic hole clamps, the swing clamps and link clamps. And with these high power components, they are able to generate the clamping forces like comparable hydraulic models just by air pressure up to 5 bar. And in all of these products, we are combining the high power technology as well as the zero backlash technology in all of these components. And which means we have the possibility of holding forces at 0 bar due to the mechanical lock inside in most of the components. And now let us have a look at the following application example of a welding process with the robot. On the robot, you can see there is a SWR master cylinder equipped, and for transporting of different pellets and workpieces, you just need a tool site on these components to connect them to the robot itself. So now, as you can see in the first step, we begin to transport the thin workpieces with the help of our pneumatic hole clamp, the WKH, which additionally helps you to reduce the dimensions due to inner hole clamping. And here you can see the second workpiece is getting loaded onto the welding fixture, which is equipped with our locating pin clamp, the SWP, as we can see now. So the transportation is done. We are now getting back to the stock of the transportation hand, and we are changing now the tools. So now we are changing to the fixture where our workpieces are loaded. So now we are connecting our robotic hand changer. Once this is done, we have the air circuit enabled for our locating pin clamps. Now we are able to clamp the workpieces with the locating pin clamps, as we can see now. So now we are getting back to the spot welding place and start to weld these workpieces all together with the help of the locating pin clamps. So now, let's say once this procedure is done, we can move back to the designated place for the clamping fixture. And this fixture will be located now with the help of our expansion locating pin, the BWM, which guarantees you a repeatability of 3 micron, as we can see here at the clamping, at the locating of the clamping fixture. So now let us have a look at the locating pin clamp for the welding. It locates thin workpieces, just as we can see here. So we can see the FAWKH, or pneumatic hole clamp, which internally checks just at the holes of the workpieces so that we can minimize the dimensions of the transportation hands and to make it highly versatile in the usage for different workpieces. So next, we will see now our expansion locating pin, the BWM. It guarantees you a locating repeatability of 3 microns even after a million of loads, and is very easy to locate the fixture, as we can see in this example. So now let us move on to the next sequence, or let us say the second workpiece if needed for arc welding in this case. So now we can see we are connecting the arc welding torch to our robot. So then we are moving to the workpiece which needs to be welded. So here you can see the fixture for the fixture which is connected to our 0-point system, the compact location clamp in this case, and couplers of KOSMEK. And here you can also see the waterproof electrode for submitting the electrical currency. So the location clamps locates and clamps a pellet simultaneously, allowing us for a pellet exchange in the automation range. Here you can see that the workpiece is clamped with the help of our welding clamps in link or in swing clamp type. So now we start with the welding operation, and we start on both sides. So once this is done, we are changing back to the transportation device and transporting the workpiece to the designated stock. So to sum up, what we have seen in this video is first, we have used our SWR robotic hand changer. With that, we have already encountered we can take over all the forces like bending and twisting. Our WKH pneumatic hole clamp, which is specifically made for the usage in transportation and can withstand high forces. The third product is our locating pin clamp, which locates and clamps the workpiece in one step. And additionally, you are able to clamp workpieces with different thicknesses, which is in terms of welding essential, and you are able to weld, for instance, 4 workpieces together as long as the complete thickness of 10 millimeters is not exceeded. The pin clamp is completely sealed, so no contaminants can enter the clamp when in locked condition. It is very wear resistant additional to that. Fourth is our location clamp or the 0-point system, which we encountered in the previous video. This component lets you clamp and locate a complete pallet or fixture with a repeatability of 3 micron. And the last parts which we have actively seen in this video are our high power welding, swing, or link clamps. The high power components are able to generate clamping forces like comparable hydraulic models just by air pressure up to 5 bar. And in all of these products, we are combining once more the high power technology as well as the zero backlash technology. For today, I say thank you very much for all of your time and participation in today's webinar. It was a pleasure for me to host this webinar. I'm already looking forward into tomorrow's webinar about the introduction to our high speed and high power mold cylinder series for die casting machines. Stay safe and have a nice day, everyone. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.